and choose none of his ways. And choose none of his ways. And choose none of his ways. And be not thou the oppressor goes back to, I mentioned earlier about the rape doctrine. That goes back to Esau trying to criticize the Bible. Oh, the Bible condones rape. So one camp said, okay, fine, it does. Who cares? To be brave, I guess, whatever, which is madness. Then they'll say the microchip. Esau came up with that. Lunatic Sabbath. Esau came up with that. And be not thou the oppressor goes back to, I mentioned earlier about the rape doctrine. That goes back to Esau trying to criticize the Bible. Oh, the Bible condones rape. So one camp said, okay, fine, it does. Who cares? To be brave, I guess, whatever, which is madness. Then they'll say the microchip. Esau came up with that. Lunatic Sabbath. Esau came up with that.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you brethren, all you fellow believers of this truth, your other elders and brethren, and you brothers and sisters that also support the truth, right? And shalom to the elect. So anyway, I cut this clip out of the other video, and the reason why I didn't put it in the other video, because I didn't want it to transcend into two different types of videos, which I normally do sometimes. But for the sake of this, there's a lot of other Israelites who are now coming against us, saying that we get everything from Esau and the white man. Let's see if that's to be true. I mean, technically, the shoes you got on, the clothes that's on display, your TV that's on the wall, and your food you eat, and everything else you get all has affiliation with the white man from what I see. And these same purple bandits, right? The one with the, and mainly this Jake with the dilated eyes, right? He's the one that's crying that we get it all from Esau. Never, don't envy not thy oppressor. He said the microchip come from Esau. Well, yeah, but it all ultimately come from the Lord, right? All these things have happened and come from Esau. So does those inflated, or let me say those degraded weddings that you have at those sepulchres of courthouses. So is that white Jesus that you worship, that you kind of claim you removed the image but kept the name to. Yeah, that come from the so-called white man too. At least it's inflated and pushed up as the white man, right? Caesar Borgias. You might as well put Caesar Borgias on your shirts. You shouldn't put Christ on there. You should put Caesar Borgias or Serapis Christi. You know, this is what you should be wearing on your shirts, a heathen god. This is the same people who follow heathenistic practices, right? They follow a full moon, okay? They believe in hell. Yeah, that came from, let me say, ancient Babylonian, but the Romans, right? Well, let me say, yeah, it come from Rome, right? It come from heathenistic practices. Even Egypt had a spell in that. So come on, man. How is hypocrite going to say this about us? We say that the same thing with the rape doctrine. Same thing. It's a doctrine. We said it happened. We don't do it. And these sneak dissing type Israelites are the phoniest Israelites, man, because they're greedy. They want the numbers. They want the money. How can these hustling Israelites even mention us in a manner of Esau when they say they love Esau? Because they say they don't hate him. The opposite of hate is love. These are the same greedy, grimy jakes in purple and gold who have swindled men out of their money. This is the same greedy jakes who allegedly made sacrifices. People are missing and dying in these camps, man. In that camp. Come on, man. How do they have a nerve to talk? Let's go to Proverbs 16:7. I don't got nothing much to say on this. But it says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So you got to understand, even the rise or fall of empires. How did Esau learn what he learned? He learned a lot from us. When he came into power, we taught him how to dress, how to bathe, and how everything else to do. Come on now. And the Lord took us down, right? And then they put us in his ways. And the things we taught them, they did it back to us, but on a wicked left-hand side, man. Right? These guys are fraudsters, man. Right? Envy not thy oppressors, but they sitting up there giving marriage counseling, man. Writing books and selling all kind of books and apparels, fringes, big fringes. And then they got the nerve to sell the fringes separately. They got the shirts and then the fringes separately. If that's not a hustle. And then they got a website. I'm not even going to pull it up. They got a website. They selling freezers, right? They selling freezers, refrigerators, right? They're talking about selling generators in case your power goes out. I mean, come on, man. They hustling you, Jake. And really, all you men that fall for this, you effeminate like women, because women fall for that. They're easily led astray. And the men follow these women just like the Queen of Heaven. Right? When a man's ways please the Lord, he even maketh his enemies to be at peace with him. And that's simple. When the ways please the Lord, guess what? His enemies will give us information. What's wrong with that? The Lord speaks through everybody. You going to tell me he don't speak through the wicked to do certain things? He don't speak through women? Hold the prophetess? You know, animals. The Lord will speak through whatever the hell he want to speak through. He'll do his works through whatever he want to do his work through. Look at was it Ezra? Was it Cyrus? Let's get that real quick. I want to get that real quick in Ezra. I think it's Ezra 4. I didn't go over that in a minute. Ezra 4. Let's see what that says. Right? Let's go to Ezra 4. And it says, verse 2, then they came to Zerubbabel and the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Azrahattan, king of Ashur, which brought us hither. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief and the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us building our house unto our God, but ourselves together will build unto the Lord of Israel, God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, has commanded us to. So in this situation, are we envying our oppressors? Is that what the situation is here? Oh, we were supposed to say, to hell with this, man. We're going to do it ourselves. It's crazy, man. How this information we got with the Bible, and these lazy Israelites do go to the blue letter. All these Israelites do, right? Which Elder Apostle Tahar brought that out, as far as the blue letter. Now everybody goes into the blue letter, right? So when we start waking up to the truth with this English language, how do we start knowing all this stuff? Right? The Lord do reveal to us things. But at the end of the day, the white man Esau, let me say Esau, right? There's some things that we learn from him on. I know I learned a lot from certain things Esau has done. I have no idea what's wrong with that. Because it's all of the Lord's anyway. Let me get Luke 16:8. I was going to read, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I think this is the parable of the unrighteous steward. It says, and the Lord commanded an unjust steward because he had done wisely for the children of this world, are in their generations wiser than the children of light. So what it's saying here is that you have the people of this world who are more shrewd and understanding of certain worldly matters and certain things, right, in general, than the children of light. We were lost. You damn right we're going to get our information, some information from the white man. What the hell is wrong with that? It's not the white man's. That's another issue. That mark of the beast, that's not the white man's. That's of the Lord's. That's another issue these guys had, these reprobates. 1 Samuel 2:7. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. Right? He raises up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill. Now, how did he do that? Did he not use the children of Israel, right, to lift them up? Isn't that how they got in power? Isn't that how we start coming into power during, I believe, the Eastern and Western Roman Empire? When the Roman Empire started falling, how do we get up in there, man? And then we learned something of the culture of the white man when we start coming into power. Yes or no? You know? And then when we came into power during the time of the so-called Dark Ages, and then during the Renaissance, right, we taught them. They learned from us. And then they took it and then did something on another level. Where did these nuclear missiles and stuff come from, man? Like these people that run this world isn't smart. Like the Lord isn't dealing with them on the left-hand side. That's how they're carrying it. Anyway, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the thrones of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, not Esau, right? And he has set the world upon them, right? He will keep the feet of his saints, right? And the wicked shall be silent in darkness. When you go to the scriptures with, I think in Acts maybe 26 with Agrippa, when we go into the scriptures there, did he not say you're an expert in the law, O King Agrippa? Which he was, by the way, King Agrippa II. He wasn't as hard as the first Agrippa, right? The Herodian. I can't remember his name, but he wasn't hard as him. So this is why Paul knew how to handle him and deal with him. In fact, when he said, thou make me to be a Christian, right? That when you really go into that actually meant thou have made me to be a merciful man, because to be a Christian meant to be have mercy. It had nothing to do with Agrippa being converted to being Christian. just another side note, right? So Paul was playing him on that, right? So anyway, so, you know, there's times where you have to use Esau to get things you want. That's just as I explained with Paul. And these guys are still upholding white Jesus. That's the sick part about it. These guys got Christ on their shirt. And they got that big bag. You know what I'm saying? With that white man Esau money on the front on their face. You know? This man Adonijah Nate, right? That's what I call him. Bishop Adonijah. If you know the story of Adonijah, he was the one that wanted the throne after David before Solomon. And he rode on a horse and went running on out and claiming he had the throne. This makes sense why Nate, right? He doesn't like Yahushua, man. Because that was Solomon. So he had a problem with Solomon. I'm just saying he's got that Adonijah spirit, you know. Anyway, to inherit the thrones of glory, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. So when kingdoms transferred from rulership to rulership, it is given, right? This is why Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right now we're coming power, and the scripture says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So it would make sense that, okay, this came from the white man and we must beware of it. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. What he's saying is the doctrine come from the white man. So where does their doctrine come from? Where the hell does that full moon doctrine come from? I haven't heard anybody teach that. Where that walking up in the courthouse and getting papers from the white man, where does that doctrine come from? Where does their hell doctrine come from? Like, they got some nerve. These guys are a bunch of phonies, man. And every year is some new scandal, a year or two is some new scandal with these guys stealing money. The Bishop Canalians, you know, the theft of stealing people's money, the adultery, which there was rumors on this guy committing adultery. I believe it was this guy, allegedly. It's all over the internet. I'm not going to touch on that. You know, we're not trying to repay evil for evil, but we're trying to show you the circumstance of when you go out here and you try to blame somebody else for something, you got the mote in your own eye. You know what I'm saying? And really with us, we're not doing anything wrong. This is the enemy. We've got to search out what the enemy is doing. That proves that these guys aren't watchmen for the Israelites. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Here we go. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. These people are adversaries of the Lord, man. Right? Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, right? And he shall give strength unto his king and exalt the horn of his anointed, right? When under the when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua under the house of David sets up this kingdom, man, then these false reprobates, right? They're gonna know that it's the Lord, man. And the Lord ain't dealing with all that damn purple and gold. That act that they're putting on, that faked act. That's that type of stuff you do when you try to clean up, knowing you a grimy Jake, but you clean up and look good for the woman, just to go out there and put an act on with some clean, spiffy shoes and some shiny rims on your car, knowing you wicked as hell. That's these guys. When you read Matthew 23, that's these guys, right? They make broad in their phylacteries. Right, in Matthew 23, when it says they make broad in their phylacteries, when I read up on that, they actually made it bigger garments. They wanted to be the bigger garments, the matching garments. They're doing exactly what these guys do. And Yahushua said, you may clean the outside, but on the inside is full of excess, right? Scum. So anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.